Hello and welcome to this video from zonalaudio.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at how we can use Ableton Session View to create structure in our tracks. The loop we've got here is from our new product, Hardgroove Drum Tools, which you can download now from zonalaudio.com. In future videos we're going to go in depth on how these loops are made. There's several more of them, but today we're just going to take a look at creating a basic structure in the session view that we can then build on in the arrangement view. So Ableton Session View is often overlooked. It is essentially how Ableton started as a program, and it can be really powerful in terms of creating an idea for structure. And we're going to look at some slightly more advanced features within the session view, which can really help bring our structure together further down the line. So I'll just start off by playing through the very basic few scenes that we've got here, and then we'll talk about how we can expand on that. Just 4 scenes there, and even from that we could create the very kind of core structure of a track. But just to quickly expand on how we can build up the basic structure, we've got our loop here. Say we started in session view and we just built up clip after clip after clip. We can then kind of build it out a little bit. So when we right click here, we can cut, copy, paste, delete all of these and duplicate. We'll set one duplicate there. But say for instance, if we have different clips playing, so notice how some of all these different ones are playing at different times. We can click in a new scene and do capture and insert scene, and that will take all the clips that are playing and put them onto a new scene. So for now we've just got the duplicate scene, so we'll basically create more of an intro scene. So we'll remove the ride, let's remove some of the loops, and that will do for the intro scene. So we've just got a little bit more of a gradual coming in of the sounds. So yeah, just a really easy way to add in some variation and start to get structure down. Part of the reason we're doing this video is we do one-to-one tuition. We'll leave a link in the description if that's of interest. But a lot of the time, one thing that we get is that people struggle to get a structure down. It can be a little bit overwhelming in arrangement view. So it's really good idea to do it in session view, get your basic arrangement down, and then you can work on transitions in the arrangement view. Speaking of transitions, we have used modulation for this. You'll notice for this one, the kick and bass filters out. You'll also notice that we have some labeling for some different clips here. So these are slight variations on whatever clip we have. So for this little break here, in fact, we can name these as well. So we'll name this one intro and this one breakdown and this one drop and this one main break. We can colour them as well if that's of interest. In this first little breakdown, we have the clap here, which is playing on the 2 and the 4 with some other ghost notes which are slightly lower chance, and then this one is fill, and we basically just grabbed a section of it. And note that there's a clap on the downbeat, and then we have these that are low velocity and a lower chance. So just to listen to that on its own. So just a nice little variation for that little drop. And then we have the ride playing this pattern. And then on the breakdown, it goes to upbeat only, and then it goes to downbeat for the drop. And we've done that just by moving the start point. Likewise with the clap, we have the fill at the break, and then it goes to upbeat. So this fill is on, like the main clap is on the downbeat. So we get that nice little variation there. I'm just going to play that through again with everything playing so you can start to make a bit more sense of that. Okay, and then next we have the what could be considered the main breakdown. So the way we're achieving this is by using clip modulation. We could use automation, so we have the option for automation and modulation here. So the way we're achieving this movement in the clips is by right-clicking the parameter that we want to modulate and clicking show modulation, and that will bring us to this tab here, and then we can essentially just draw in our modulation. A key thing to note here that the clip itself is 1 bar. However, the modulation is going for 8 bars, and we do that by toggling linked and unlinked. And now I've done that, it has defaulted to 1 bar, so I'm just going to undo what we had, and it's back there, and we can basically make the filter modulation go over however long we want, basically. So in this case, a break of 8 bars, and we've done that for both the kick and the sub. And to visualize that, if you keep an eye on the frequency parameter here, so we can see it raising. And then what we can do is let's duplicate this one, bring that here, and we'll include the ride. The snare can drop out, everything else looks fine. Cool, so we've got a snare fill going on there as well. I'll just label that fill. We could change the colors as well to help visualize what's going on, and obviously that'll copy over onto arrangement view. But yeah, this is just a snare pattern. Again, lots of velocity and chance variation, and then we have this little fill at the end. One downside to using the modulation is that there's no kind of indicator here on what, like, when the phrase is going to come to an end. So using a clip like this, whether it has information in it or not, can be very useful. So again, when we play this, just note the ticker at the bottom here. so we can see when it's time to make the next scene. So you could go pretty crazy. There's lots of options that you could do here. We have done filter modulation to help with the breakdown, but you could add reverb, delay, whatever you fancy, go wild. But once you've got a basic structure, we can then basically just hit record, and we want to make sure our intro is going to be the intro. So yeah, that's what we want to start with. Let's do one more for good measure. Let's take out the answer here and the clap. Okay, and now we are ready to go. Okay, so record. Cool. So one thing I should have mentioned earlier is that we have the stop buttons here and we don't here. These can be very easily added and removed by pressing Command E on the keyboard. And now we have a very basic structure into our arrangement view. And from here, it's just a case of extrapolating it out essentially. Like I say, it is a very basic structure. So we would probably want to do more things within this structure to make it a little bit more interesting, but it gives you a very good firm base to build on. So I was a bar late here, so I will just select this area, Shift Command Backspace to delete the time, and I'm back on the grid there. So yeah, in the space of 5 to 10 minutes, you can get a very basic structure down. And then from there, it's all about kind of creating extra interest, adding in some ear candy, some turnarounds, maybe some impacts and some risers to keep the listener's interest. And obviously we can just add in certain bits as and when we feel necessary. I hope this was useful. I hope it was informative. Like I say, we're going to be doing a full breakdown of this particular production, and we've got several others to look at as well. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye now.